Welcome to lesson 85, reciprocals. This is a very simple lesson because reciprocals are just the invert or reverse of a fraction. When you take the terms in a fraction, the numerator and the denominator, and you flip them, switch them, reverse them, invert them, however you want to call it, when you put the numerator as the denominator and you change the denominator and put it as the numerator, you have just created the reciprocal of a fraction. What I mean is this. 3/7, if you were to flip those numbers and switch their spots, you would have 7/3. That's the reciprocal. Okay? All you have to do is change what's on the bottom, put it on the top, and change what was on the top and put it at the bottom. Now don't put an equal sign between this because 7/3 doesn't equal 3/7. Okay? Maybe you could draw an arrow to say that it is changed to that reciprocal. Okay? Now you leave it in improper form to show the reciprocal, and most often the directions actually tell you to give the reciprocal and leave your answers improper. 4/9 would change to 9/4. 10, now wait, 10 looks a little different. It's a whole number. These were fractions, they were easy to flip. Now can you make 10 a fraction? 10/1, right? A whole number is just a number over 1. So what's the reciprocal of 10/1? 1/10. Those are all reciprocals. Now, the first step of this lesson was very simple, right? You just invert the fraction and you're done, okay? But this is going to be leading into something much more deeper, dividing with fractions, okay? Now, on the board I have a question from your work. It says, how many 5/12 are in 1? Think about that. That's a division problem, okay? How many 5/12 are in 1? It's almost like asking, how many 2s are in 8? Well, there's 4, because 8 divided by 2 is 4. It's a division question, okay? Now, today's division questions are going to be basic, because they're all going to ask you how many are in a 1, a whole. What if I were to ask you how many 1/4 are in a whole? 1. How many fourths are in 1? If you were to draw a circle and cut it into fourths, how many would you get? You would get 4. How many thirds are in 1? 3. How many fifths are in 1? 5. It's always the inverse or the reciprocal of the fraction. Okay? So if I were to say how many fourths are in 1, the answer is 4. The answer is the reciprocal of this fraction. 4/1 is just 4. You will do the same thing with this. How many 5/12 are in 1? The answer is the reciprocal of the fraction. So instead of 12/5, or 5/12, the answer is 12/5, the reciprocal. Now, here you don't want to leave your answer as the reciprocal. Okay? It's not asking for the reciprocal, it's asking for the answer. How many 5/12 are in 1? So let's turn this into a mixed number. 5 goes into 12 twice. The bottom always stays the same, and there's 2 left over. So, how many 5/12 will fit into 1, 2, and 2/5 will? Okay? Alright. I know that's a little bit more complicated than the beginning part, but just know that whenever you're looking for a fraction into a whole, the answer is the reciprocal of that fraction. Okay? We're going to get into dividing fractions in a few more lessons, and you'll be using reciprocals to do that, and I think you'll find that it's pretty simple. Okay? If you have any questions about reciprocals and dividing fractions, then come and see me, and I'd be glad to help. Thanks.